Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live. So, happy Wednesday, or I could say happy Tuesday for some people. Um, I've been getting a lot of messages from yesterday's post, and it was regarding, I guess, the start of our journey, and the same question that pops up, I guess, for new parents that pop up on my socials is, when did you first notice that your child had autism? And it's a really good and valid question, because there's a lot of parents that get into that period where they're worried, they're scared, and when they come across that word autism, they just think that the whole world just drops on them. And yeah, I got that feeling as well. So I want to take you back when we didn't first notice, but just little signs. And so I remember it was Alexis's birthday, and we were blowing bubbles, a big bubble machine, huge. And Alexis loved bubbles. And whenever he got bubbles, babies around 12 months, they flap their hands. And that's normal. It's normal because it's exciting. It's a way to show expression. But Alexis really flapped his hands. And I knew nothing about autism, so I didn't think anything of it. And he was my firstborn, so I didn't know what to expect. So we moved across from New Zealand to Australia, and that's when kind of the journey started. But towards the 12 to 18 months, develop-wise, he was going really well. Like, nothing wrong. Well, I shouldn't say nothing wrong, but he was actually going really well in terms of his milestones. The only thing he wasn't doing was walking. He was but at the 18th month mark, he started walking. It was his first steps, exactly on the 18th month mark, and that gave a tick towards another milestone, which was fantastic. We moved across Australia, and we were doing a lot of things. We were busy. My mum, who got diagnosed with liver cancer, unfortunately, we moved to Australia so I can be close to my mum. She got diagnosed with liver cancer, and they said she actually had 6 to 12 months to live, and that was in September, and she only lived until January the following year. So going through that, there was a lot of things going through my mind: new job, new environments. But my wife was pretty much on top of it. She checked on Alexis' progress, and he wasn't responding to his name. And that was probably towards maybe the 18th month mark to the 24 months mark. And so we went to see a doctor, because they are the experts in the field. And I remember that doctor saying to me the one question which I'll never forget: is he playing with his cousins? Is he socializing? And I blatantly lied, and I said, yes, he's playing with his cousins. And he goes, well, he hasn't got autism. He's fine. He's social. And so we actually got an official letter. I still have that letter from the doctor saying that he has no autism. And then towards when my mum passed away, there were other signs that he wasn't sleeping. It was really hard to put to sleep. He was giggling a lot at night, toe walking, flapping of hands continued, really loved Mickey Mouse. And the only way I could get his attention was to speak in a Mickey Mouse voice. I just remember talking to Alexis and be like, hello, Alexis. And then he will turn around and he will giggle. And I think it was just that connection with the show. He just thought it was really funny. So we did. So for all parents that are having, I guess, questions out there, I wouldn't self-diagnose, because there's a lot of parents that be like, oh, flapping his hands, toe walking, but that's normal for some children, and then they kind of grow out of it. So my recommendations to all parents is go see an expert, go see a doctor, but make sure that you be truthful about it. And also be open-minded about seeing a doctor as well. They are the experts. Go see the specialist. And we got him diagnosed. At 2 years and 3 months, I believe. And look, that's considered, I guess, early. But I know of some parents that they actually got their child diagnosed, even in the US, as early as 1 to 18 months. I've heard about it. And it's fantastic because it gives you that validation on what can we do next? What can we really do next? And early intervention, that is the best form of strategy moving forward. I remember when we first got diagnosed, for my child Alexis, the drive back home, I can't remember the drive back home, but lucky enough, my wife, she was in mama bear mode, and I remember she was really researching, where I was kind of like, mourning, because my son wasn't going to be my son. But after you realize you're in this journey, that boy is still your boy. It's just your journey looks a bit different. So what can you do different to really engage with your child? So it's just a new way of life. And so I think when it comes to the journey, you grow as a person. You learn to be patient with your child. You learn to love them in a different way that they understand. And you meet some incredible people out there. This journey isn't for everyone, but I believe as parents, we are given this path because we are special, and that we can handle this journey. So for all parents that are just going through this journey, and yes, it's okay to be scared, and yes, it's you're going to get anxiety because you don't know what to do, and your future probably will look different. But I can assure you that if you go speak to the experts, there's a great community through all the videos that I've seen that are fantastic. There's people bringing up funny topics, and they chat with one another, which is fantastic, which is cool. I think at the end of the day, get involved. I think don't be open-minded. Don't be closed off from the world. Your child still deserves to see the world at their own, at their own pace, at their own vision. Love them. And please don't waste those early years, please, because and I'll talk in another video, there was 6 things that happened when my mum passed away and my son got diagnosed with autism. And there was, I think, 4 other things that happened in my life that I can't remember the 2 years of my life. And then I missed out on my second born, Alessandro's life, for 2 years because I was in a deep hole and I can't remember anything. And lucky enough that my wife took photos and videos of me interacting with my boy, and she just said to me, you were just constantly looking at his milestones. You were making sure that he was babbling, he was talking, he was flapping his hands. And it's the biggest regret. Like, I regret it. I absolutely regret it. And I should have been there for more, Alessandro more when I was younger. But all I can do is just share my story to the world. And I hope that this video brings some comfort because, it does get better as time goes, Yes, we're going to get challenges, but we come across them. That's what we do. We're human. We learn and we adapt. And, we just have to say a message to all of us is that we just need to move forward. There's a great community out there. And I'm lucky enough to be in a group, a charity that I organize called Dad Speak. And I have a brotherhood of dads that I can chat to about my daily problems, or if I need advice, because they're all on a similar journey in all walks of life that they could give me advice. And likewise, I can give advice back. So, and that's another thing. When COVID happened, and I know this is controversial, they taught us that we have to distance ourselves from our community. And I think that's just absolutely wrong. I think we need to go back to basics. We need to get back into that community vibe. We need to be doing more play dates. We need to get together more. We need to talk to each other more. Less Teams or Skype or face video calls, and more interaction in person. I think we need to go back to basics, because that's where community and tribes are built. So, but going back to what I said yesterday on my posts, yes, there were signs, but I didn't know because I was a first-time dad. So anyone that has a bit of doubts, just talk to some people in the community out there. There's heaps of fantastic groups out there. And also talk to your professionals, because, we don't want to be at the moment where you're self-diagnosing your child. We're not experts in our field. Talk to the experts just to get some recommendations. And then from there, if you do get a diagnosis, then work of a plan of attack on what you're going to be doing next is speech. So what we did was, from the following week, we did ABA, and I know it's controversial, but it's actually helped my son sit down in a classroom and do some work. We also do occupational therapy as well to work on his grip strength, mobility, and he's fantastic. So he can do all these things. And then we do speech, which we're having a lot of trouble all these years, but, we are making a bit of progress, slowly progress, but, it's never giving up. It's always going to therapy and not saying to yourself, this is a waste of time, because you never know what the outcome's going to be. So, and I met I've chatted to some fantastic people from the US, and we are trying the new spellers, therapy, which I'm really excited about. So we are working on that, and I am taking videos and progress on that. So, so I'm just reading some comments here, and it said, my son was 18 months. He had a 200-word vocabulary. My parents noticed after a trip out of town, and he stopped talking. His words were just gone. Yes, and that was my son, unfortunately, as well. Thank you, Hart Daring. He was babbling a lot. He was saying "dada, mama," he was saying all these little words, and then he started regressing, and then the words just didn't come out. And it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking, and it absolutely hurts. Just seeing that regression, it does hurt. But we just need to just be there for our child and find other ways where we can connect with them. And that's what I do with my beautiful my boy Alexis. It's tough, but look, who knows? Maybe in the future I will hear his voice, and it's the one thing I would love to hear. But he does. The one thing I'm happy about, when I heard first him say "dad," it was such a special moment in life. There's a lot of parents out there that take it for granted that their child can talk, and for me, just to hear those little words from Alexis that's coming out now, and it's such a blessing. And we don't know where this journey is going to take us, but as parents to a non-verbal child, we are scared for the future, because if anything does happen, he can't tell us. So that's why you have to make sure that you build a team around your child that you can trust and that you can thrive together for a better outcome. So, but that's my 2 cents for today. So I hope you enjoy these lives, and I'll make sure that I'll do more as often as possible. But it is busy, raising special needs children, especially that I have 2, and I've got my baby girl who's wants dad's attention, and she doesn't get enough attention from me. So, and that's another topic I'll chat with you guys about. So, but look, guys, keep well. I hope that you guys are enjoying the videos, because we do need a bit of laughter in our lives. It's such a serious world, and that's why we do it, because me and my wife, we try to look at the brighter things of life, and we do. We work well as a team, and I'm forever grateful that I have a fantastic, loving partner who has been in the pits with me when I'm at my lowest. And if it wasn't for her, who knows where I'll be today and what I've created in a charity in Australia. So, bless her. And she's got a heart full of gold. Such a fantastic person. And I'm so lucky to take this journey, with her beside me, and take this new venture that we're having with our Unspoken Journey chapter. So thank you to everyone that's joined. Really appreciate it. And we'll chat soon. All right, guys, take care. Bye.